We got Miss Heather's 2020 Kia Sorento here with the 3.3 liter in it. We're gonna make a couple of videos on this today, most likely. It is here because the brakes are squealing, so she thinks she needs brakes. So we're gonna get it up in the air, take a look at everything and decide which ones need to be replaced, if any. And she needs an oil changed. Getting started with the brakes, if that's what you're here to watch. Before you take it up in the air or jack it up, make sure you take the cap off of your brake fluid reservoir. So we'll take that off, we'll set that right there. I'm actually gonna set it up here just in case it falls. Now you can get it jacked up, get it on a jack stand, put it on a lift if you got a lift, get it up in the air, support it, and get your tires off. We will pick up from there. All right, we got the Kia up and supported, and we got all 4 tires off. So I'm a firm believer that whenever you have brake squeal, you need to check all 4 tires just to make sure you don't got a stuck caliper slide or a stuck caliper or something. But let's get in here and take a look at the kind of things we need to look at. So if you look down this way, you'll see there's a good amount of meat left on that pad. This one, you'll get vision looking down this way. It's dirty with some brake dust, but it looks like it's probably still got about half its life left. So let's go look at the rears. Here we are on the rears. We can get an angle here. So the things you're trying to look for is, does it look like they're about even? And in this case, it does look like they're about even. And how much of the meat of the pad is left, obviously. I would say these are probably 50% as well. So I'm gonna check the other 2 sides, but I think we're just gonna clean these up and re-grease them. And whenever we have the calipers off to do all that, we can check the pads and make sure it doesn't look like one's wearing more than the other. All right, in the case of our brakes here, we have decided that we just need to clean them up, re-grease them, and grease the caliper slides. But I am still gonna break it apart and basically walk you through doing a brake change without actually doing it. So step number 1 is once it's supported and you got your tire off, you're gonna need to come in here and get on these 14 millimeters. You got one right here and you got one right here. We're gonna take those off and then wiggle our caliper off and set it up here, not putting pressure on the brake line. There's 1 and there's 2. So now we'll take this brake caliper, we'll walk it backwards until it comes off and just flip it and set it up here like that. Once you have that off, you can take these little spreader springs and try and work these puppies out of these holes in these pads. Let me see if I can't get one to pop out while you watch. They're kind of a booger to get out of there, especially when you got this brake dust in. There we go. We got that one, got that one. So you can just take these out, set them to the side. Your new brake kits should come with them, but sometimes they don't. Oh, speaking of that, I will have links up here in the video and in the description below for a good set of pads and pads and rotors, and a set of just pads. No matter what, you always want to at least get your rotors turned, but if you have enough meat, you can do that and save some money. It costs about $25, $30 at your local auto parts store or machine shop that will do it. Otherwise, you'll need to replace them if there's not enough material, but always make sure they are nice and flat whenever you do your brakes and you're starting with a new set. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this spring out and then we can pull these pads out. If the springs are out, you can just grab them and take them straight out. I also want to show you, see that little folded over tab right there? That is what's supposed to start squealing whenever your brakes are worn out. So in this case, it's a different issue for us. But make sure you also take note that this pad with the indicator does go on the back side of your rotor, so back here. So now what you always want to do at this point is check your caliper slides. See how those were nice and stuck? I had to pull on it pretty hard, like that one. These should move nice and free like this. And when they get stuck like that, right, then the pads keep getting pressed and the caliper can't slide away to relieve the pressure on the pads. So we're gonna re-grease these on this one, and I'll show you how to do that whenever we get there. But now the next step to get this rotor off is you're gonna come on the back side here and you're gonna take out this bolt and this bolt. It looks like they're about maybe a 16 or a 17 millimeter. So let me grab that and I'll go ahead and just do it and show you how to get it done. All right, the answer was 17 millimeters on those. And then once you do that, you can just hold the bracket in your hand just like this here. All right, so now the last step is going to be to get your rotor off. And to do that, what you're going to have to do is take out this Phillips screw and this Phillips screw here. Those are called set screws. If you live up north where there's a lot of rust or by the coast, these are probably going to be a booger and you might have to drill them out. Down here in Texas, we can just pop them right out and they're not an issue. You do not have to put those back in. Those are in for the assembly line only. So those go in and they put these screws in to hold the rotor upright. And it makes putting the brakes on easier, but the wheel will hold this straight, so you don't actually have to put it back in. If you drill them out, you don't need to replace them or anything like that. But yeah, at that point, just take these screws out, and then you might have to bang in between the studs or on this little tiny flat surface here to break it loose and get it to drop out. and you can go get it turned or replace it with your new one. Before you do, this little inner seal right here where you can see that little rust developing, that needs to be hit with Scotch-Brite or a wire wheel as well as the face of the hub. Then you're good to put your new rotor back in, put your set screws back in if you're going to use them. And that'll bring you right back to this point of reassembly. Once you got your rotor in place and everything's good to go there, what you're going to do is you're going to take your caliper bracket here. You can do this on the vehicle or off. I actually like to do it off if I have it off. So you'll have new hardware. The new hardware just presses in over these tabs. I'll take this one off just to kind of show you. So you'll have it, it'll look like this. You'll lay it down onto these little channels where it goes and just press it into place. And then I like to look down this hole to make sure that there's no metal hanging over like that. So in my case, I need to clean this up pretty good, and even while you have your hardware off, it's a good idea to just douse the whole thing down with some brake cleaner and just knock off all the brake dust and the grime and stuff that's on there. And in my case, we're just going to clean it up pretty good. And something else worth mentioning while I wait for that brake cleaner to dry, you'll see I hit this rotor cleaning up my rotor here too. If you have new rotors, they most likely will have machining oil on them, so you need to douse them down with brake cleaner and get all that oil off before you install them on the vehicle. Now I'm going to show you a couple more things that will also be linked in the description below, one of which is synthetic brake grease. This stuff is super important for doing a brake job on modern stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a little dabble of this. This is why I like to do it when it's off the car. Once your hardware is in place, just paint a very thin layer down right into the hardware here where the brake pads are going to ride. You're basically going to try and grease every surface where there's contact between pads and metal, so that way we can prevent premature squealing, and we'll get down to that tab that's designed to squeal when it's time to change them. But I like to put it in there and then I just rub it around my finger just to make sure there's a nice thin even coat of grease and it won't get down on the rotor. So at this point we're ready to reinstall this puppy. I did notice that the caliper bolts have what's called lock washers on them. I'm gonna hope they designed this correctly from the factory. It's a little weird. For a lock washer to work, the washer has to be harder than the material it's binding against. I'm gonna hope that's the case. I haven't put a magnet on this. I don't know if it's aluminum or not, but we'll probably put a little bit of blue Loctite on here as well. But I'm gonna go ahead and put this up, and then I'll let you know the torque spec once I get it tight, and then I'll show you how to grease these caliper slides. All right, in the most Kia fashion possible, these bolts were torque spec'd to 78.5 to 95.1 Newton meters. I set them to 85 Newton meters, but I think they basically just want you to put them tight, which is cool. So now we're gonna go ahead and do these caliper slides. So you'll wanna move yours back and forth if they're stuck or gummy at all, like these ones were. What you'll do is you'll hold this rubber with your fingers and you can just pop it right out and slide it out just like that. Now, move you over here. And now once you have them out, you just wipe this sucker down with a paper towel. If it's super crusty and grimy and chunky, you can brake cleaner this and squirt brake cleaner up in that boot and try and rinse some of it out. But then you'll just take your synthetic brake grease here, wipe you a fresh new layer on, just like so. So you can see that, just big chunky. Now we're gonna take this, stick this back into the boot. Boom, just like so, and just work it back and forth, twisty, 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 in, bam, easy peasy lemon squeezy. So we're gonna do the same thing to the top one, then we're ready to put our brake pads on. I don't know if this is standard on all of the aftermarket replacements or if this is a like Kia thing, but this little plate clicks onto the back of the inside pad here. So you wanna make sure you put a layer of grease in between this. So what I'm gonna do is, and what I recommend is we're gonna install the pad in on both sides, then we'll put that plate on. Then we'll be ready to put our springs in, and then we can put our caliper over the top. So you'll go ahead and stick it in here like so, and just slide it in. We're gonna do the same thing with the front here. Just in and in, bam. Now, before we put our springs in, because when we put the springs in, it's gonna wanna spread them. It's a way to help counteract stuck slides, which was probably something they knew was gonna happen. We need to compress our caliper and get this greased and ready to go on as well. So if you change your brake pads more than once, I highly recommend one of these. This is called a brake caliper depressing tool. I will show you how to use it real quick. This will also be linked below from Amazon. It's like 16 bucks or 20 bucks, I think, and it's worth every penny. So you'll basically just screw it out like that. You'll flip this little ratcheting lever right here with your finger, slide it down in between. You'll hold this end with your finger and just start ratcheting. So you're gonna hold right here until it gets tight, and then you can just ratchet it just like this, and it will compress that piston back in. Now my pads are the same pads, so I don't need to go too far. I just want to make some extra space. But there we go. So now you flip that switch back down like I just did. You saw that. Flip it with my thumb. We'll loosen it up. I'll hold it with my finger to do one more, and then we'll slide it right out. Bam. It is as simple as that to compress the caliper. So now what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and clean up this brake caliper by spraying it down with some brake cleaner as well. Just like that. And we'll let it dry. All right, here we are. So we put our new springs in. You just kind of got to carefully work them in. And after the caliper is depressed, you're going to put a thin layer of synthetic brake grease around the piston, and then put some right here on each finger that makes contact with the pads. Then you're going to put your springs in, which I've done here. So you just kind of carefully work them in and get them squeezed in. Now we're ready to put everything back together. So let's take a gander. So you just flip it over and make sure you do not twist your brake line and it's straight. Then I like to squeeze the pads a bit with my fingers while I get them together, and then you just work your caliper right back into place and get your upper bolts finger started. Hey. All right, so here we are. So I'm gonna go ahead and tighten these up. We're gonna just tighten them till they're tight because it's another weird range of torque specs. It was like 55 to 75 Newton meters or something. So just tighten it till it's tight. Don't over tighten it and snap them. They're not huge. And then from that point, put your tire back on. I'll put the torque spec for the lug nuts up here. Always, always, always torque your lug nuts. That's very important. And then once your car's on the ground, the last thing is don't forget to put the cap back on your reservoir and then pump your brakes up before you drive away, because those calipers aren't going to be seating and there's going to be no brakes until you pump them and get a firm pedal. But otherwise, hopefully this video helped somebody out. If it did, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to see more.